Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I wanted to commemorate the best parts of summer by making a perfect summer recipe that include all of the greatest things about this glorious sunny season. Strawberries, basil, ice cream, and ice cream sandwiches. I think you know where I'm going with this. So to start out, you're gonna make the ice cream first, and you're gonna whisk in 2 tablespoons of cornstarch with half a cup of coconut cream and set it aside. Then to a small saucepan, you're gonna add 3 cups of coconut cream along with half a cup of sugar, a pinch of salt, and the coconut cream and cornstarch mixture that we just made. And you're gonna heat it over medium to medium-low heat, making sure that it never comes to a simmer or a boil, and you're gonna stir it pretty much the entire time because you don't want anything to stick to the bottom of the pan. You know when it's ready when you can coat the back of a spoon really well with the mixture and do this with your finger. After the mixture has thickened, you can add in a teaspoon of vanilla extract and stir that together. And then you're gonna remove it from the heat and add it to some sort of metal container. I used a loaf pan. And then you're gonna cool it in the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes, stirring it occasionally. Now it's time to make our sugar cookies for the ice cream sandwiches. So you're gonna take a large bowl and add in a half a cup of Earth Balance room temperature. This is pretty important. Half a cup of sugar, quarter cup of brown sugar, quarter teaspoon of salt, quarter cup of pumpkin puree, and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then you're gonna beat everything together for a couple of minutes, and you also wanna make sure that you scrape down the sides and the bottom of the bowl so that everything is really well incorporated and nothing is hanging out at the bottom or the sides of the bowl. Then you're gonna put a sifter over the same bowl and add in 1 3/4 cups of flour, half a tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and a half teaspoon of baking soda. Then you're going to sift everything together to ensure there aren't any clumps in any of the powders. And you're gonna stir everything together with a wooden spoon or a rubber spatula until everything is combined. And at this point, you can add in 1 to 2 tablespoons of almond milk or soy milk to make sure it's the consistency of cookie dough. Because if you don't add anything else, any liquid in there, it's gonna be pretty dry. So after your dough is formed, you're gonna place your dough in the fridge for 30 minutes or the freezer for 15. And this step is important because it ensures that your cookies won't go flat when you bake them in the oven. If you've ever seen cookies that are super flat where the chocolate chips are kind of sticking out from them, that's because the person who made those cookies did not refrigerate their dough before they put them in the oven. And what this does is that it solidifies the fat that you put in the dough. So the Earth Balance or coconut oil or whatever fat that you use to make the dough, it kind of hardens it up again so it's a little firmer. So when it goes in the oven, it doesn't melt so quickly and flatten the cookie. So there's a little pro tip for you, because no one wants a flat ass cookie. So after chilling the dough, you're gonna preheat your oven to 360 degrees Fahrenheit. And you're gonna start forming your cookie dough balls to put on the baking sheet. Scoop out 1 heaping tablespoon of cookie dough, roll it into a ball, and place each cookie dough ball onto a parchment paper lined baking sheet about 2 inches apart so that when they bake in the oven, they don't touch each other. I flattened out my cookies, dipping a fork into a bowl of sugar and then doing a little cross hatching motion with it, kind of like what you would do with peanut butter cookies, just to ensure that the cookies bake evenly. And you're going to bake the cookies in the oven for about 13 to 15 minutes until slightly golden brown. Once they're finished baking, you're gonna take them out of the oven, let them rest on the baking sheet for about 5 minutes, then cool them on a cooling rack. And once they're completely cooled, you're gonna place them in a Ziploc bag or some sort of container and place them in the freezer until you're ready to form your ice cream sandwiches. And since I'm not a baker, I used Minimalist Baker's sugar cookie recipe for this, and it turned out amazing. I will leave the link to the original Minimalist Baker recipe down in the description box below if you want to check it out. So to finish up your ice cream, in a food processor, you're gonna add 1 to 1.5 cups of fresh strawberries, 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar, the juice of half a lemon, and a large handful of basil. And you're gonna blend it all together until it's nice and chunky and broke it up. You're gonna take the strawberry mixture that you just made and add it into the fully cooled ice cream base. Stir it all together until it's well incorporated and then store it in the fridge overnight. The next day, to really finish your ice cream, you're gonna add in the mixture into an ice cream maker. I am using my Cuisinart ice cream maker, and it's actually a really good ice cream maker. I love it. It's only about 70 bucks, so if you're interested and you make a lot of ice cream or you want to, this is a really good one that I recommend. You're gonna let it do its thing in the ice cream maker for about 15 to 20 minutes until it looks like soft serve. Now you can eat it like this. It's gonna be amazing, especially if you like soft serve ice cream, but you want it to be a little bit firmer for your ice cream sandwiches. So before you start making your sandwiches, you're going to add in the ice cream to a container and place it in the freezer for 4 hours. And after the ice cream has hardened a little bit, you can start forming your ice cream sandwiches. And like I said before, these are an amazing end of summer treat. These also are great if you are in the middle of February and it's 20, 30 degrees out and you want to feel like summer is just around the corner. Just eat one of these babies and you're good to go. As always, I've included the written recipe down below in the description, along with all of my social media usernames. So if you end up making these at home, be sure to snap a pic and tag me in it because I love seeing your beautiful food creations. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. I will see you in next week's video. Be sure to take care of yourself, eat good food, and I will see you in the next one.